Kris Krohn here with Limitless TV, joining us with my good dear friend and mentor, David Kaler.
Thank you, Kris. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today.
Today we're going to be probably talking about one of the very difficult conversations of life, because we're going to be talking about death. We're going to be talking about cancer. And for every one of you watching this video, the reality is every single one of us has caught a terminal illness, and it's called mortality. Some of us have a name, however, for something that is in the process of killing us. Some of us know what we're going to die from. Some of us don't. And today I've asked David to be on our show and to give us some real practical advice on what he learned from beating cancer years ago and how he's been able to make an impact on many other lives since, and hopefully yours today. David, this is a video that I've wanted to shoot with you now for a few months, and I'm glad that our schedules finally came together, because I know that you had a personal experience, 2005, where you were up against a potential death sentence. And not only did you come through that, which is what we're here to talk about today, but I've firsthand seen you work with other individuals, both that have cancer and life-threatening terminal illnesses, and people that don't. And you've been using the same advice to teach people how to live happier and more fulfilled lives, but it also can create the outcome of surviving or create a solution that you might not otherwise see or be able to choose into. And so, David, I want to talk just a little bit about that. What happened in 2005?
I was diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And as a 32-year-old, this is just not on your radar. The doctor, my first general practitioner, when he came in, there was a swollen lymph node. And I said, hey, what's going on? I feel great. Why do I have this swollen lymph node? And he says, well, let me take a look at it. Let's give you a little antibiotic. And he says, 99% chance it's not cancer. Yeah. And the thought that came into my mind was, why would you even say that? I mean, that's not even on the radar. I'm 32. I'm in the best shape I've been in a long time. Can't be. Well, a few months down the road, we find out, absolutely. It's cancer, stage 2. It's in your chest. It's in your neck. And if you don't handle this, your life is going to end. And those kids.
How many kids did you have at the time?
I had 2 with 1 on the way.
Wow. Yeah. Being in my 30s, I'm trying to imagine what that would be like. And yet, if you had been born or received this a decade earlier, the doctors might have had no solution, no treatment for it.
Hodgkin's is a very rare cancer, less than 1% of the cancers in America. So because it's so rare, not a lot of treatment goes into it. That's why when we don't know how to fix it, a lot of people died from that situation. But fortunately, it's a cousin to leukemia, which is also a blood cancer. And while they were researching leukemia, they found a great cure for Hodgkin's through chemotherapy and radiation. Yeah.
David, before we jump into the steps people can take that know somebody or themselves are suffering from something like this, I want to make sure that our audience understands who we're talking to. Is the information we're going to share here useful for people that have what they're being told is a terminal illness where there's no solution?
Absolutely. That's the thing with any type of cancer. I mean, it's really a sobering experience when the doctor says, hey, we've got a chance at this, and we don't have a chance at this. This could go either way, and good luck. And that's kind of how it is. So it doesn't really matter what your situation is. When you're facing cancer, brings this to the forefront and gives you this idea that, hey, your life could end tomorrow, and it could for anybody in that situation. But it really brings it to the forefront of your mind and makes you think.
All right. David, if someone is in this situation, whether they have a beatable cancer or not, what advice would you give them? Okay. What did you do to cure this inside of you?
I'll tell you the first thing that really made a difference in my life, and if I hadn't done this, the outcome could have been different. And that was to recognize my faith in God. I'm just going to tell you right now, that's a key and critical component, to recognize that God is in charge. And as soon as I realized and believed in the law of abundance, God's law of abundance is simply this. You have all the resources you need to handle everything that you need to handle and to become exactly who you're supposed to become. That includes the resource of time.
Yeah.
And when I realized that no matter what the outcome, good, bad, and different, that I had all the time that I needed to become who I needed to become, suddenly peace was able to arrive in my soul. And if you don't have peace, if you're constantly nervous, agitated, concerned about this cancer situation, that's what actually fuels that cancer to grow.
All right, so this first step, the law of abundance, basically says restore inner peace by knowing you've got all the time and resources that you need to take all the appropriate steps in action for what you're up against.
Absolutely.
So this already sounds applicable to anything in life. This, like if I had a business that was risking going under, or if I had a relationship that was soured, this law of abundance would show up there as well.
It's fundamental.
Okay, what's the second step?
Second step is actually very interesting. It's to recognize your role in the situation. It's very easy to step into victim mode as a cancer or any type of catastrophic event that happens into your situation. It's easy to take blame onto yourself. What did I do to get cancer? Did I eat something wrong? Did I live something wrong? Did I do something wrong in my life? And is this my just fruits and my just rewards? And that answer is just simply no.
So there's a lot of people that go into that victim energy, which is the woe is me, it's all over. And all of a sudden they're walking around like Eeyore with this black cloud that's always raining and thundering and lightning. And if I hear what you're saying correctly, that's not the mindset for being able to go up against cancer. You need to whisk the cloud away, which you can control.
Yes.
And so what are your choices in that mode then? It's like, okay, I get it. Don't be a victim. So what should I be?
The best thing to be is a creator, a builder, a maker, is to get engaged while you're going through whatever therapy you're going through. Create in your home, create at work. Just do it. Make, build, create. And the temptation is to take on this label that they pin on you while you're going through your therapy. The moment you get there and the moment you start your therapy, they pin a little label on you and says, guess what you are right now? You're a cancer survivor.
Yeah, there's bad energy on that
And there really is, because a survivor is just a victim with lipstick on.
Wow.
And if you take that away, this idea that you're just playing defense, and give yourself the abundant mindset that says, I can make, do, and create, that's really going to make a huge difference in your ability to cope.
All right. Step one, law of abundance. I got the time and resources. Step two, I'm taking on an attitude of the creator that says, I'm co-creating this experience with my maker. This is the circumstances upon me. And I'm at choice for how I feel about it, what I can do with it, how proactive or how positive.
Yeah.
What's number three?
Number three gets a little more scientific. And that's nutrition. Nutrition really does matter.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, my oncologist, when he started to prescribe the chemo and radiation treatment, I asked him, what do I eat? He said, I don't care. Whatever you want to eat. And he just wanted me to be comfortable. And that really frustrated me. It didn't sit right. It didn't feel truthful. And the fact is, nutrition is an important factor to our bodies. It not only affects what's going on inside our bodies, but what's going inside our mind. And so having the proper nutrition that takes care of us, both physically and mentally, will really have a big deal about how we handle things spiritually.
I think our world today is really starting to just get with the program and realize that we are what we eat, and that we are either eating to live or we're eating to eat, and that the food that we put in, I mean, if I put in processed bad food that's unhealthy, that's like if I had to just make an unscientific guess, I'd probably say that probably isn't going to help my cancer situation. But what nutrition then would you recommend based on what you experienced?
Well, definitely, we've talked about, mentioned there, don't get into any of the processed foods. Just eat a lot of whole grains, a lot of fruits and vegetables, the things that really ground us and bring us back.
Natural.
Set our guts in the right, proper order and can communicate with our mind. Let's make sure we're taking nutritional supplements that can really give us the benefit of the advantage of being able to think as best as we can, because we're going to need that mindset to get through what we're doing.
Yeah. It's interesting, Glenn, she was so determined to have her babies all natural. Okay. And it's because she didn't want any unnecessary medications to interfere or influence her experience. She wanted to feel her body. Yes, there was pressure. Yes, there was pain. It could have been avoided. And I don't want to necessarily plug that. It's more just this idea that it was important for her to be as conscious and with it. And I think it goes with your second item there of being a creator. What am I creating? And there are things that you can do in your nutrition and your exercise to influence how you feel. I mean, I don't have cancer, but I know that exercising and eating a certain way produces this type of energy and outcome, and eating and sleeping in and doing this kind of, actually ends up producing something more counterintuitive or counterproductive. So I love this one. So nutrition. What's number 4?
Number 4 is to visualize. To visualize the cells in your body repairing, healing, killing off the cancer, and doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Your immune system gets shot when you go through chemotherapy and radiation. And as you visualize your body behaving and overcoming and doing exactly what it needs, it's fighting a battle.
Yeah.
And if you can visualize your body winning that battle, that's what's really going to make a huge difference physically. And one of the tools and aids that I use to help visualize, for me, it was epic music. And at the time, Pirates of the Caribbean had just come out.
Yeah, there's some epic music.
And there is. And I would just listen to Pirates of the Caribbean and just envision my white blood cells, all the healthy cells, just totally tackling all these cancerous.
So take me through some of the words that you would be reciting and saying.
I'm healthy. I'm whole. Every single cell in my body.
Okay.
It's exactly basically
Right.
what it is. But it's important. Find the music that you groove with, whatever.
Yeah.
But have a battle. I mean, be a warrior in this. You really have to get into that warrior personality and recognize it's time to go to battle.
Yeah.
And it really is. And if you recognize your ability to win this battle and see yourself doing it on a daily basis, visualize, it's going to make a huge difference.
Every thought is an investment. So if I dwell on my cancer and dwell on the unhappy news or my latest, blood cell T count, or any evidence, if you have cancer, you will have negative evidence. Yeah. And if you dwell on it, I imagine that expands. And so what you're suggesting is that if what we think about grows, then think about health, then think about being whole, then think about everything working to your advantage. And I love how you're even emotionally getting yourself involved in the process through epic music. What a beautiful tool. What's your 5th and final step on this?
It's gratitude. As difficult of an experience as that was, I'm very grateful for it because it helped me to remember who I was, what I wanted to accomplish in life, and the blessings that I had been given. It helped me to recognize who I really wanted to spend time with and what I wanted to do in this particular life. I was grateful for that opportunity to recognize that some people may be having a bad day. I mean, I remember driving to the hospital for my first day of treatment, and I was frustrated, upset, maybe just driving a little bit slow, and the guy behind me pulled over into a different lane and maybe flipped me off or something like that. And I just thought, don't you realize that I'm having a bad day? And then I recognized, it was a huge recognition that, wow, every single one of these people might be going through a different catastrophe. It may not be cancer. It might be a divorce. It might be losing a loved one. Whatever it is, somebody might be having a bad day and just needs a little bit of love. And I was grateful for that insight, grateful for that experience.
I've been pushing for this video because my mom has terminal cancer, and her days are numbered. And I've been watching her go through trying to figure out, what do I do with this? And she certainly had her dark period with it. And, sometimes when loved ones share their hearts and opinions, they don't always reach the people that we love the way that we hope. But I hope that your words today find my mother's ears well. And that I hope that everyone that is watching this video finds some deep encouragement and some useful tools. I want to thank you, David, for sharing these tools and for sharing this information, your personal experience. If you had a final comment for our viewers today, those that might be really struggling with something very difficult, whether it's something cancerous or not, what advice would you give them?
Don't let that experience define you. Don't let that be who you are. For too many years, I was a cancer survivor or a cancer patient. Your mom with this idea of terminal cancer, don't let that define who she is. Don't let any catastrophe that's going on in your life be a label for who you are. It's just a temporary, just a moment of time. Let you choose who you will be.
David, thank you, brother. David David, thank you for joining today and adding some really great value to our viewers. I know there are some people's hearts and minds that are going to be touched in really profound ways. You and I, one of the things that really connects us together is that every month we have an opportunity to change lives through our monthly 3-day breakthrough event called Limitless. And I want to extend a gift that if you are going through any type of truly difficult situation, medical situation, cancer, whether it's terminal or not, reach out to our team, and we would love to get you tickets to this $500 event so that we'll get you in the door for free. It is a life-changing event. And David, if they go to this event based on what you've seen and learned there, do you think that they're going to receive more tools and build upon what you've been sharing here?
It could make the difference. It will make the difference. Come and attend.
Awesome, my friends. Comment below. We'll make sure to get you some tickets, and thank you for watching today.